Hi guys, Andy here again, and in this lesson I'm talking you guys through how to organise the songs that you know into some kind of practice routine, and talking you guys through how I design practice routines for my private students and Skype students, and how I can help you guys out with learning again through the beginner's course that's online, or help you organise a practice routine at absolutely any level that you're at. So there's kind of, when it comes to practicing, sometimes people can feel a little bit lost. Now, there are two common scenarios that I see day in, day out with my private students and online students as to why people feel lost. So if you're right at the beginning of my beginner's course, or you're just starting out on your guitar journey, you can kind of be thinking, how many songs do I need to learn before I can move forward? And do I need to master everything that I take on before moving forward? Be it kind of all the chords that you should know, or be it just one song that you're trying to learn. Should I master that one song all the way through along to the record, which is what I recommend all the time? Should I do that for every song that I learn going forward? Or if you already know a whole bunch of songs, and maybe you're at quite a high level on guitar, but you just know all of these things, how can you possibly maintain, say, 20 or 30 songs? Do you need to keep all those songs and play them forever? And how can you possibly kind of go about that? And then that kind of all boils down to the one question, which is, should you master one thing before moving on? Or can you kind of take on numerous things, but when you do, how do you know which ones to focus on? To help you guys out with that, what I've done is I'm going to show you guys a recommended practice routine for one of my students called Chris, who's been taking Skype lessons for about 6 months now. He's kind of towards the end of the beginner's course, really, but there's still a couple of things that we're working on, such as riffs, which he finds more difficult in particular. And I'm going to show you how I've structured his practice routine, and then give you a practice routine blueprint, which is kind of appropriate for anyone at any level. And I'm going to talk about how I've kind of broken it down. So the big thing I definitely want to get across to you guys is you should not take on any more than 10 songs that you're going to continue to maintain and keep playing day after day, time after time, practice time after practice time. If you have more than 10 songs, it's going to be impossible to maintain or get through them all, basically. So you need to pick and choose. But those 10 songs should showcase the range of your guitar playing. So that means that some of those songs, say 2, 3 or 4, might be quite easy for you. And they might be, say, if you're at level 5 of my beginner's course, some of those songs might still be from level 2. But you have to be quite savvy as to which ones you keep and which ones you're going to let go, which ones have kind of served their purpose. So there are certain songs from my beginner's course, or any songs that you will have learnt, or riffs that you have learnt, which work on multiple things just in one, say, riff, or one chord sequence. So songs such as, from, say, level 2 of my beginner's course, Chasing Cars and I Can't Explain, have all 3 chords at that level, E, A and D, but also work on speed of chord changes with a higher level strumming pattern or a higher level riff, and are still going to be good ones to keep even if you're working on, say, your E minor pentatonic scale right towards the end of the beginner's course, okay? So you still want to keep certain ones, especially if you can play them along to the record and it's sounding good and you can get along to the end of the record and you enjoy them. You need to keep exercising that skill of playing things correctly. Otherwise, if everything that you take on, say you choose 10 songs, but they're all the absolute hardest 10 songs and they're all right at the edge of what you're physically kind of capable of at the moment, then you're practicing kind of everything being done a little bit slowly, and you're practicing things that aren't quite developed yet, techniques that aren't quite developed yet. So you need to keep certain things which you're doing absolutely spot on to make that transferred over to the new stuff. And this skill of playing along to the record as well is so important. And as I say, with the range of your guitar playing, there wants to be some songs there in the songbook style, which is following a chord sheet and maybe without bar lines at all, and you just have chords sporadically spaced out and you change chord on a certain word. And there wants to be some short, recognisable riffs in there. Now, depending on whether you're taking on acoustic or electric guitar, kind of one of those styles tends to suit one or the other. You know, electric guitar, we've got more riffs to pick from, for example. But you still want to showcase that range just so that you're not only improving, say, just your riffs or just your songbook songs. We need both to go up together to get full benefit of this course. So let me show you, I've got Chris's permission to show you this practice routine that we picked out for him last time. So you can see that we've got 10 songs written, but I've split them up into 3 categories. Songs at a performance standard, which Chris is very confident with, and these were the ones that he can play most of the way through and take on towards the record. Maybe they just need a little bit of polish with them, you know, a couple of the changes aren't as solid as they could be, but he can do a good job of them. And then the other songs from his repertoire we split into just trying to showcase this range. So single note playing is something that he particularly struggles with. So I've made sure that I've included the E minor pentatonic scale, which you should cycle 4 times to make sure that you can play properly. Seven Nation Army and Misty Mountain Hop. Just a couple of single note electric guitar riffs that are short, repetitive, recognisable, and with a little bit of practice, he will be able to get them along to the song. It's just a case of learning the structure of the song and making sure that he can hear the riff in the song so that he can play along to it. And then the songbook songs at the end are 3 songs which are quite at the highest level compared to some of the other songs. These are sort of level 7, level 8 songs, most of them really. And we've included them there to round his repertoire up to 10 songs. The one that I added to his practice routine was Can't Explain by The Who, which he hadn't learnt from just taking the online course, just from, you know, picking whichever songs he wanted from the list of songs that are on my website. And I added that one because it was the riffs that he struggled with. So I chose a much easier riff to take on, but that worked on all those same skills. Again, you've got palm muting in this song, a bit of silence in there, faster chord changes, faster strumming, and a short recognisable riff that you should be able to play along to the record. All those different things in one song, rather than making sure that he keeps going with a song such as Knocking on Heaven's Door, which is just 3 chords repeated over and over again and quite slow. The strumming's okay, but it's not as high level as it could be. It's not as challenging for the same short amount of time.
There, Lick and Riffers, how are you doing? Welcome to another awesome fingerstyle improvisation lesson right here on Lick and Riff. In this video, I'm going to share with you an awesome chord progression you can improvise upon for hours on end and create stunning music with minimum effort. And the chord progression is very simple. It's B minor, G, E minor, and F sharp, or F sharp 7. Okay? And the minimum effort thing is first that you can use the thumb for the G bass note, 3 on the 6th string, okay? So you have your fingers free for soloing. But what I really mean is that the B minor scale has open strings all the way. So it's 3 to 0 on the 1st and 2nd strings. And then 4 to 0 on strings 3, 4, and 5. And 3 to 0 on the 6th. Okay, we're basically going to use strings 1, 2, and 3 for our improv, but it never hurts to know the rest of the scale. Okay, and let's start. I'm gonna try to switch from teacher mode to creative mode and improvise an example so we can talk about it and see our options. And as you'll see, it doesn't take anything complicated or fancy or very, very technical to create really beautiful music using this chord progression because the chords practically blend into each other. So, just using the scale and open strings. Now, you can also just use the bass notes and the notes of the scale. See? You don't even have to use the chords per se. But the idea here is that these chords work so well together that almost everything you're going to do solo-wise is going to work, even if you use notes that aren't natural to that chord. For example, on G, you can use the 2 and 4 on strings 4 and 5. See? Works really great. Gives the G chord a really unique aspect. Also to the E minor. See? Just using the slides to 4s on strings 5, 3, and 4, and using open strings in the middle. Okay. And also hammering on. And you don't even have to go that far, you can just use the chords notes. Open the E string and then use that same note as transition to G. And then you can just use strings 1, 2, 3, and 6, and then you have your hand free for soloing. Okay, you can use chord notes on other chords. Meaning that, for example, you can take 3, 2, 3 on the second string and play it on all the chords and it would sound great. Okay, creates an augmented chord there that leads us back to B minor. So I don't want to put too many ideas in your head so you don't imitate my playing. So I'm just gonna play another example and I'll let you go improvise. Okay, there's nothing much to say here, but that this chord progression is amazing. So I'll just improvise another example and start with a different rhythmic pattern. By the way, I just noticed that I played the F sharp using my thumb. Remember, open strings all the way. Okay, as long as you have the right bass note in place, you don't really have to put on the rest of the chord because the scale has open strings. You have nothing to worry about. So that's also an option. The F sharp on the bass string, on 2. On the 6th string. And also, very important note, you don't have to play these 4 chords in this sequence all the time. You can mess them up. You can play F sharp, G, E minor, G, B minor, and these 4 chords really work well together. So try any sequence you like and see what you come up with. Remember when I thought I was done with the lesson? so I brought it to a screeching halt. Otherwise it could go on all day, which is exactly what I told you at the beginning of this lesson. So I'll let you go and improvise now. So have fun, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.
So tune up your guitar, put your capo on your 6th fret, and we're ready to go. If you like this video, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up or a comment in the comment section below. Your feedback is what gives me the motivation to keep making more videos. As well, if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button to get access to all my latest content straight on your YouTube homepage. So let's get into the chorus. Doesn't get much easier than this. We've got A minor, F, C, and G. All just played for single beats, and you're playing each chord twice before moving to the next. So counting along, this is all you've got to do. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all there is to it. So let's move straight into the verse. This is going to be almost the exact same thing, except you've got 5 chords instead of 4, and the last 2 chords are played for only 1 strum. So all you have to do for this one is the same thing we did in the chorus, slightly different chord progression though. Play C twice, then E minor twice, then F twice, then C once, and G once. And that's really all there is to it. I'll play it once, count it along, just so you can get the idea, but otherwise it's pretty straightforward. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's really all there is to it. This is a really simple, easy song that you should be able to get in no time.
Hey there, Lick and Riffers, how are you doing? Welcome to another awesome guitar lesson right here on Lick and Riff. And in this video, I'm going to help you incorporate slapping into your fingerstyle guitar playing. But first, let me just mention that this lesson is sponsored by Meze Headphones, who were kind enough to send me this spectacular pair of earphones, Q Zoom N. The 11 Neo, which is an upgrade on the 11 Deco model, which they let me review last year. And let me just tell you that the sound range, the frequency range, the richness of the sound on these small earphones is just uncanny. You have to hear it to believe it. It's so small, it fits in your ear, and it has the sound range of a huge headphone set. Don't trust me? Go read reviews. Meze are magicians. They're technological magicians. If you want to read more, click the link in the description and go learn more. Now let's learn how to slap. Now, many of you have asked me for my help in the comment section and in emails asking me, how do I practice slapping? I can't get used to it. It throws my playing off and I just can't seem to do it. And I'm telling you, you can do it. You're probably just practicing it too early. What do I mean by that? You're probably trying to play it along with fingerstyle arrangements right away. And you're trying to play a complex technique without actually practicing it first. And you need to practice the slaps. So I'm going to give you a few exercises. And some of them might seem a bit dumb, but trust me, it will help because you need to understand the concept behind the slapping. And once you understand the concept, you'll be able to slap in your sleep. So I should copyright that, slap in your sleep. I should create a course called Slap in Your Sleep. So Why should I create a course? This is for free. So you start by getting used to the rhythm behind the slap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And on 2 and 4, you slap. So before you even touch the guitar, click your finger every 2 and 4. Sing it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're out of breath, take a breath and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This becomes pretty boring pretty quick. So then start slapping. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then put a song on and slap with the song. Okay? And if you don't have any song ready, just sing something. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, na 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 na. It doesn't really matter what you sing. You can invent a melody. Just make sure that every second beat you slap. Then, when that gets boring, take the guitar, take any chord, and I suggest E minor, and play 1 and 3 as well. Play the bass notes on 1 and 3 and slap in between. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This becomes pretty boring quickly, and then you can move around to playing different chords and do the same exercise, just the bass notes. Doesn't matter which chord. Surprise yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't matter at all which chords you put on, as long as you play the bass notes and slap. Just get used to moving your hand around while slapping. That will immediately prepare you for playing fingerstyle with slapping. So just play any chord you like. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Any chord. The more outrageous, the better. You need to get used to moving while slapping, but don't play yet. Then, when this gets boring, start playing the chord with slapping. And there are 2 techniques to do that. You can slap and strum by throwing your fingers out, or slap and pick, which is a little bit more difficult. You slap while clawing your fingers to pick the chord. Okay, and that's a little bit more difficult to get used to, but you need to, because when you play fingerstyle, the slaps come around on every 2nd and 4th beats, and you need to play melodies right along with it. So get used to it. Just take simple chords and play slap and strum and slap and pick until you get used to it. Okay? They produce pretty different sounds when you do it, because one is using your fingernails and one is using your skin. So okay? Get used to both strumming and slapping and picking while slapping. Once you get used to that, and only then, start thinking about playing fingerstyle with slaps. And even before you do that, take a very simple arrangement of mine. You can take the intro to Sweet Child of Mine, for example. And even before you do this, even before you play this, prepare your fingers for the D chord and sing the riff while playing. You can be tone deaf as you like. You don't have to play. Just get used to thinking about the melody while slapping. Then, if you like, you can play the chord with the slap. And then, when you think you're ready and you're tired of all the previous exercises, then try to play it. And you might not need to break it down, but I'll break it down for you anyway. And again, I think breaking things down in order to incorporate slaps are the wrong way to do it. You need to get used to slapping before you play, but I'll show you what you need to do just to give you a demonstration of what slapping in fingerstyle requires. And you need to have practiced everything I just showed you. 1, and then 2 with a pick. Okay, because you need to slap while picking this. So, okay, it's a slap and pick. Okay, then 3, okay, and then slap and strum on 4. So 1, 2 with a pick, and then 3, 4 with a strum. Okay. Okay, so you incorporate both techniques. Now you can take Stand By Me as well, but it's a little bit tricky because you need to slap while playing a note with your thumb. So that's a whole different technique. So you need to slap with the high string fingers. You need to slap with those fingers while playing the 6th string or the 5th string. So one slap is easy, the second slap is not, because it's dum, dum, da da dum, 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 dum. Dum, da, da, dum. Sing it and click or slap while singing to get used to the idea, to the concept. Bum, bum, da, da, dum, bum, 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 ba, ba, bum, bum. Okay, 1. Okay, so, okay. Then you need to slap with the bass note. Okay, so you hit the high string. Okay, and then again, slap alone between notes, okay, and then with the B note. Okay, so again, slap with, this was a bit exaggerated, but okay, with the note. Okay, that's the idea. There's no use playing it slow because it's an easy bass line, so don't cut yourself slack. You can do this. You can do this in full speed. Okay? If you can play the bass line, you can play the slaps, especially if you practiced everything I told you so far. Take these 2 riffs, the Stand By Me riff and the Sweet Child of Mine riff, or just stay with chords for as long as necessary and then try it. And you can also take any other simple riff. You can take, okay, this. And slap with the open 2nd string. Okay, it's the half of the Californication riff. And then just play the chord. Okay? Now another thing that I want to mention, you can have another interim exercise between playing chords with slaps to playing riffs with slaps. I just thought of it by playing this. You can dare yourself to see what you can get away with between the slaps and try to arpeggiate the chord, try to pick the chord, try to play the chord in different ways, different string sets. If you can do this, if you can improvise around the chord with slapping, there's no more I can teach you about slapping. So
Hey guys, this is how to play Happy Birthday for Beginner's Guitar. I've arranged this to make it absolutely as easy as possible, though you will see countless other variations of it if you look elsewhere on the internet. But this one's very easy to do, and it's perfect for you guys to play for your friend's birthday or a family vacation in front of people. And it's also perfect for that because it's recognizable. This is why it's going to be one of the first videos on my new channel for lead guitar lessons, because it's a melody that is very recognizable by everyone. So if you want more of these lessons which are more tailored for lead guitar melodies that are very recognizable, you want to subscribe to this channel. And as I say, most of them are going to be quite easy, and then we'll be getting some more advanced ones as well. So hit that subscribe button and let's get you in for a close-up on how to play Happy Birthday. Okay, so we start off, we're going to be mainly playing this with our first finger, seeing as this is a beginner's lesson. So we're going to go the open third string, which is this one, third up from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. And we play that note twice, and then put our first finger at the second fret of that same string. Remember putting it this side of the fret, not this side, to make it all sound better. And then back to the open string. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. That one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we move down a string, place our first finger at the first fret and play that note. And then to the open B string, and that's the first section, and there's basically 4 of those sections. So that as a recap one more time. Nice and slow. That's on the third string, and that's on the second string. I'm using a pick or a plectrum in this lesson, and having the pick on the side of my first finger with the thumb on the top, and placing that here and resting the sort of palm of my hand, or the sort of lower part of my thumb on the guitar itself, and having all this part as having contact with the guitar should really help to stabilize and sort of navigate this right hand. If you prefer, you can use fingerstyle and generally just use your first finger for this one. You can use whichever other fingers feel comfortable with it, but if you're using your thumb for everything, it's better to start to use your fingers if this is a style of music that you're interested in. And essentially, I'm using exactly the same technique with this part of my arm, my forearm and my wrist resting on the guitar. And that should really benefit you. The next section starts off the same, but the last 2 notes are slightly different. We're going to use our middle finger, 3rd fret, on the B string, on the second string, and then to our first finger, 1st fret of the same string. So those 2 notes, the extra ones, 1 and 2. So that is the whole first half of Happy Birthday so far. Just to recap, nice and slow, let's try and play it together. In 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Now it's likely the rhythm of that might be tricky for you, or the picking of the notes. So picking hand has to be up against the guitar, and all the forearm has contact with the guitar. You can pivot on your little finger as well, but this is mainly staying to like the middle string, so you might find this technique of anchoring your pinky a little trickier. I'd recommend you go for this. Other than that, just try and think of the melody of the song. Da 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 to you, and try and play as the melody sounds, as you would sing it. This we do have the tab available for this song. It is in the description below and a link to my website, unless I get told to take it down, which does happen occasionally. But if you can follow this would be 0, 0, 2, 0 on the tab. So every line of your tab is another line. Every line on your tab is another string on your guitar, going horizontally, and the numbers are the fret numbers. So 0, 0, 2, 0 would be on the 3rd string, the 3rd line from the top, for example. But let's move on. We'll recap this a little bit later, but let's just do the last section of this song. So section 3, first of all, open, open again, that's the 3rd string. So this one. And then to the thinnest string, and we can play that with your first or middle finger, it doesn't really matter. There's a big jump with your picking hand. To the open E string, da 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 da. And then first finger, 1st fret of the 2nd string, to that open string, da 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 da. Finally, and that's the 3rd section. That one more time. And finally, 1st finger, 1st fret of the thinnest string, to open. So that one's played twice. 1, 2, 3. To 1st finger, 1st fret of the 2nd string. Middle finger at the 3rd fret of the same string. And then to finish, 1st finger where it's just come from. And that's the whole thing. Just to recap that last bit one more time. So that's from the 3rd string to the 1st. Notice how my hand still anchors and moves from the wrist. And that's how to play Happy Birthday. Check out the tab on the website down below while it's still there, and have a go at it from the top. We'll have a quick run through it now if you need, but other than that, I'd recommend you kind of get straight on and look at the tab, really. But one more time, let's have a look at this. So 2, 3, 4. You can use other fingers such as your 3rd or your little finger for this one. There's no real right or wrong, it's just a beginner's sort of recognisable melody.